Hello everyone, my name is Karan Masru. Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to discuss about 10 things which you should keep in mind while learning data structures and algorithms. I have been teaching data structures and algorithms for 3+ years now through various modes, and I exactly know what mistakes a student does. So I have made these 10 points keeping in mind my 3 years of experience. Also, before moving on to that, I would also like to tell that I am also starting a new development series which will be project based videos, and I have already uploaded 2 videos in that. In the initial phase, we'll keep some basics. We'll start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and slowly we'll move on to frameworks and different projects using frameworks. The link to this series, you will get it in the description. Make sure you check them out. Now let's begin with the 10 points. So now if we talk about the first point, then the first point is don't waste too much time on learning the language. Now as a fresher, when someone is starting with DSA, obviously in order to solve DSA problem, you need to know a particular language in order to implement those problems. Now while learning the language, sometimes I have seen freshers that when they are learning coding for the first time, then they spend a lot of time learning a particular language. Well, that's not the correct way. Sometimes people spend a lot of time until they feel confident in that language. Well, what you should ideally do is learn the basics of that language, learn the basic structure, how it's working, some if-else condition, declaring variables, printing output, taking input, and some function calls, if-else conditions, etc. Once you are good to go with that language, then start implementing it. Okay, start implementing using that language, start solving problems. And then when you get stuck for a particular syntax, you just Google it out. So in this way, you also solve problems and your language also gets better. But don't waste too much time learning the language itself. The second point which I would like to tell here is that don't focus too much on participating in contests during the initial phase of learning. Now what do I mean by that? You see, there are various platforms on which there are coding contests happening every week, right? Now there are ratings shown on these different platforms. So in order to gain rating, what I've seen is some freshers do is that they participate a lot, or even some little experienced people, they participate a lot in competitions in order to increase the rating. Well, I would suggest at least during the initial phase of your learning, that should not be your approach. During the initial phase of your learning, you should focus more on the learning phase, on covering more and more topics. And once you have covered a good amount of topics, then slowly start giving time to competitions. Okay, so you participate in less competitions and your ratings increase a lot, rather than participating in a lot of competitions and seeing very little change in the ratings. Okay, so during the initial phase, contribute more time to learning, and then slowly you can increase the time given to competitions. So the third point is that you should spend a considerable amount of time on each question. Okay, especially in the beginning. Why? Because you see, in the initial phase, if you do not spend a considerable amount of time on a particular question before looking at its solution, or before asking it to someone, or before looking at the video solution or tutorial, what will happen is your thinking ability will not improve a lot. Okay, so especially in the beginning phase, give some amount of time to all the questions. Now I am not telling that you sit for the whole day, but at least give a considerable amount of time which you feel before looking at its solution, so that your thinking will develop a lot with this. So spend considerable amount of time on any problem before looking at its solution. The fourth point is that upsolving is more important than participating in more competitions. What do I mean by that? First of all, what is upsolving? So for example, you participated in a competition, and out of, let's say, 6 questions, you were able to solve 2. So after the competition, when you look at the solution or try to solve the remaining problems again, that is upsolving. And upsolving is very much important as compared to participating in more competitions. You see, I have seen this, many people doing this mistake. There are a lot of platforms doing a lot of coding competitions, which is good. But what happens is you need to decide in which competition you want to participate and in which you do not want to participate. Suppose you participated in a competition today, and before the next competition, you should try to upsolve the problems asked in this competition. If you are participating in a lot of competitions and not upsolving, then you are not learning anything new. You are not growing a lot. So your focus should be participate in less competitions. No problem if you cannot participate in more, but try to upsolve the problems. So out of 7 problems, if you were able to solve 3, at least upsolve the 4th one. Even if you do not upsolve the 5th, 6th and 7th, at least upsolve the 4th one. Okay, so upsolving is very much important. It will help you grow a lot. The fifth point is that you need to be consistent. Okay, now see, sometimes what happens, no, people do DSA very well, but then a break comes, and then when they appear for a coding test or for an interview, they forget the things even though they knew this beforehand. So you need to be consistent. Now how can you be consistent? So what you can do is you can look at the standard problems regularly and on different theories. Okay, and what else you can do is you can definitely participate in contests, and other than that you can also solve problem of the day, POTD, that is given by different platforms online. So one problem is released every day, you can try and solve that question. So in this way you will stay consistent. Now the sixth point is that you need to be patient, because going from one level to another it takes a bit of effort and time. What do I mean by that is, sometimes I have seen people asking me this question that I have stuck at this level, I am not able to grow from here, or I don't feel like doing it a lot more. So what the thing is that, you see, I generally make people understand this point in this way, that there are different levels. Okay, so for example, in the beginning, for example, if some of you know some basic data structures and algorithms, then there is a binary search algorithm. It might be possible that when you were learning binary search for the first time, you didn't understood it. But after solving some number of problems and after going to advanced topics, now binary search is quite easy for you. But in the initial phase, you are not able to understand it. So these are different levels. So first of all, you are here, then your level becomes this. So you find the problems of this level difficult. Then when your level becomes this, then you find the problems of this level difficult. And each time when you get stuck or you feel like you are not growing, please keep this in mind, be patient. Basically you are transitioning from one level to another. Okay, so be patient. Sometimes when you are like stuck at one level, it means now it's time to grow, you just need to stay there. So the seventh point is that peer programming will help a lot. So I would suggest make a small group of people who are interested in DSA, and you solve problems regularly and also discuss regularly. In this way you will not get demotivated, and if someone if there is, let's say, a problem which is quite a bit difficult or tough, but one person has understood it, then they will make other people understand, and in this way you will not get demotivated and a flow will be maintained. So the eighth point is that you please make sure that you are solving problems from each topic. Okay, now it should not happen that you just keep on solving problems from arrays because you have a good command over it and now you are liking it. So you solved array problems from one platform, then you went to another platform and just keep solving and procrastinating the other topics. Because in exam or in interview or in a coding round, question can come from any topic which are important for placements, right? So the topics which are important for placements, you should be covering all those topics and solve problems from all the topics and do not get stuck to one topic only. So now the next ninth point is that please make sure that your there are a lot of SD sheets in the market, right? So for those of you who do not know, I'll explain in a brief. SD sheet is a sheet which has crisp amount of problems covering all the important topics. So I would suggest that before you appear for any coding round or any interview, I think a SD sheet is a very good resource for last moment revision, and at least the problems given in SD sheet must be clear before moving before the interview. I would suggest that. Now the 10th and the last point is that don't just focus on DSA. Okay, you should your why should be very clear when you are doing DSA, because many a times I have seen people like a lot of DSA, like during the college they get to a good level in DSA and then they keep solving problems and try to increase their ratings on different platforms. Okay, but your why should be very clear. If you are studying it for placement, study it from the point of view of placements. If you like it, you can definitely solve some more problems, but you should also learn other things. Okay, it's not just that you keep on doing DSA and keep on increasing your rating a lot. Okay, you require that, but along with that, please also focus on other things like development, core subjects, etc. That is also very important. So these were the 10 points about you should keep in mind while learning DSA, and I hope this 10 things will help you in your career and your while you're in your DSA journey. And if you have any doubts, you may ask me in the comment section, and I will keep bringing such more videos for you. Thank you.